In this video, we're looking at the Tecmojo Desktop 8U rack, which I will modify and add some wheels to, as well as showing you through my switch setup and some future plans for my network. Opening up the box, Amazon had shipped it in a very large box. We then got to the Tecmojo box inside. We had some instructions showing where the feet are that I'm going to be removing. It came with some cage nuts as well. The metal construction is quite nice. It seems pretty sturdy and solid for the size that it is. Opening it up, we've got some Tecmojo branding on the front. The instructions seem pretty straightforward. The construction was using a few nuts and bolts to get the whole frame together. I didn't actually realize at the time, but that front plate helps go through the other two pieces to hold it all together. So you do need to make sure that you line it up correctly so it all goes through. Just a Phillips head screwdriver is all you need to get this one together. Getting it all tightened up, it's pretty solid. I think we can handle quite a bit of weight in this rack. Just looking at the construction, it should be fairly decent. Adding the wheels onto the bottom as well later on. This is the current state of my network switch. I've just got it propped up on a stool. With the fans on the side of this network switch, I wasn't too concerned about airflow. The cupboard I've kept open, and I do have fans in the other side of the cupboard that bring air in. It's definitely going to look much nicer once it's mounted in the rack though. For the internet coming into this one, I've got an external access point, which is connecting to another access point. We are currently doing a pathway between the two houses, and we're going to be bringing in fiber optic from the router up the top, which is an OMADA router, and into this one here. We should be able to achieve speeds of about 10 gig between the two of them, and the primary lot of Ethernet cables in here at the moment is for security cameras. We've got security cameras there running over PoE, as well as the interior and exterior access points, and then we've also got a few hubs connected into this one, as well as some switches. I've got one dedicated to the TV setup with the gaming consoles, and I've run an Ethernet cable directly to the PS5. We're currently on NBN fixed wireless internet out here, so I'm definitely not reaching gigabit speeds, but we're getting about 300 down and 20 up, which is adequate for what we're doing out here. But the primary reason for this switch and the 10 gig link between the two houses is for the Plex server as well as file transfer. In the future, I will give you an in-depth walkthrough of my TP-Link OMADA setup. We do have quite a unique setup where we are due to having multiple houses and granny flats on the property. So I've been able to connect them all through external access points with the mesh technology, and the connection between them has been pretty good between location to location. But we have done some upgrades on the property, so I am running Ethernet between all of them for a hardwired connection. So I will show some of that process in an upcoming video, as well as the fiber optic install. With the switch now in the rack, it is more solid, that's for sure. I can definitely see adding some blanking panels in potentially. I only needed to remove one cable, so I only had the interior access point go down temporarily while I put this one in. I'm thinking we might need to look at getting a patch panel in this one to help clean up all of the cables. Potentially a brush plate or some blanking plates might help as well in terms of rigidity, but with just the switch, I decided to put it up higher just to make sure that the top section was more rigid. I did find when I had it lower down, it didn't seem to be as strong and rigid up the top. But yeah, we've got the cables that I need to look at cleaning up here. I've got to bring in more cables again, as I'm going to be putting some through the roof space as well as underneath, and bringing in the cables from the fiber optic. So I'm just going to leave it as a mess for now, and my plan is to go through and reorganize them all and implement some better cable management. I did also look at getting a Brother printer specifically for some cable ID tags. That's kind of my plan for identifying what everything is. It is going to be a bit of a process. I do need to terminate some cables as well from these new cable runs that I've been putting through, and I've got a cable tester for that. So this space here is my cupboard that I've got everything enclosed in. I am thinking of putting some fans in that cupboard door just to bring some additional airflow in, but so far the fans on the side are operating fairly well. With the cupboard closed, I have noticed the noise from the fans is very minimal. It hasn't kept us up at night or anything, but if I have the cupboard open, I can definitely hear the fans in this switch operating. So I think I might look at making a cutout in the door to just bring some extra air in. And with the cables, yeah, I'm just going to have to come up with some sort of an organization plan to get them all labeled up and cleanly installed. I'll hopefully video that, or you might just see me in another video just show it all completed, because it is going to be a big process. I'm looking at running some of these cables into the roof space. As I said, we're looking at Akara FP2 presence sensors, and I'm wanting to run them all via PoE. So I'm going to look at getting some adapters from PoE to 5 volt, and that will be really handy to be able to run them all through the PoE switch and go ahead and turn them on and off remotely through the managed switch, which I think would be really cool. If I've got some issues with a particular FP2, I can just go ahead and remotely turn it off and turn it back on. But it also means that all my cables in the house for the presence sensors will all be nice and neat. I want to be able to have it all hidden away so it looks nice and clean. Overall, for the price of 60 Australian dollars, I think this rack is really good. If you've got a small home lab or you're looking at creating a home lab, this is definitely a great first option. For this space in particular, adding the wheels on is going to be very beneficial as well, just to be able to move it around. So I think this is a great buy for the money, and in the future, I may look at going to a full server cabinet, but we'll see what happens. I'd love to hear your feedback on this particular setup. What would you have done differently? Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Get some engagement, chat going. This is going to be a new channel. I'm going to be focusing on assistive technology as well as smart homes and a little bit of networking. Unfortunately, I ran out of time in this video to get the wheels installed, but in my next network run through, you will see them installed as well. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it.